So as we all know that this is a very tragic and very unexpected situation where we are passing through a COVID-19 situation. This is the first ever or foremost human tragedy, as we all know, and affecting hundreds and thousands of people. We can say it's entire world, and no one is right now spared. Sorry. In addition to this human impact, there is also a significant economical and commercial impact being felt globally, not only locally, but each and every country they are facing this economical impact. As this virus no borders, the impact will continue to spread more and more deeper. Eventually, the threat will fade, but even if it does, the next outbreak is not so much matter of if, but when. Uh, this particular incident is teaching us many lessons, and I'll not go through those lessons, but how it impacts and teaches us to utilize digital technology. A lesson of the importance of issuing a business agility as it continues to change everything about life and work as we know it. As nations around the world practice social distancing, technology, what is enabling a sense of a normalcy. Technology and digital infrastructure have a critical role to play in keeping the world connected more than ever before. Whatever age may be, we all are now using technology, whether our young kids or our elder parents. Everyone is using technology and they are depending on technology. To switch business to a distributed workforce almost overnight, we all have to adopt a technology without any time given to us, and we all have to manage all those resources overnight. This all required very careful and forward planning and preparation if at all we see this kind of situation on and often, or this lockdown continues. We have to plan and prepare. So we must focus on how we can protect our people, which is in IT, those are all our assets, and how we can serve our customers and stabilize business continuity. So ultimately, business has to go on. We have to deliver and we have to survive. So all those things should be covered and should be taken care of while we do all kind of investment into digital infrastructure. So as I also represent NASSCOM from Gujarat side and also gone through various study reports. And as one of our biggest promoter of IT, Devang Mehta, late Devang Mehta, he introduced coined a word called Roti Pakda, Kapda, Makan, and bandwidth. So that slogan stands true in current life. So without bandwidth, we cannot survive. And without IT, we cannot run our day-to-day business. So what are the opportunities lying in coming days? My colleagues will take it forward in terms of technical side and case studies side. But let me browse you through a 40,000 feet overview that what are the mega trends going on currently in the worldwide, and what kind of study has been done by various organizations. So if I can take about mega trends by NASSCOM, they studied well. What they say, let me pull some data over here. They said our workforce will be disrupted in future. They were not knowing about COVID situation, but industry forecasted that we'll be having a disrupted a future of work where all works will have no boundary. Our people will be sitting anywhere in the world and carrying out our service delivery. If I can tell you our experience, we have 5 locations across a globe. 4 are in India and 1 in Canada. Currently, all are collaborating and they are delivering our customers. We will also have a future-ready work culture where work from home will play a major role in our day-to-day life. Not today, but now onwards, more and more people and more companies would be having work from home policies and environment. We all are reading newspapers and clips about how TCS is going to implement work from home. They are going to reduce 33% of their real estate so that they can have work from home environment. Then future of workforce where human and automation machines will collaborate together so that we can overcome or we can fight with this kind of situation in future. So what are the forces shaping for the future of work? One is demography confluence. So demographic confluence where workforce in the next generation will span over 5 generations. Baby boomers, Gen X, Generation Y, and Generation Z, which is coming new generation. So this all generation will collaborate in this particular digital world, and which we are seeing right away in front of our eyes. Coexistence with technology. All technology, be it Microsoft, open source, everyone, they will be collaborating with each other. And that is how cloud computing, Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, they are emerging and they are talking with each other. Lots of data, which we call tsunami of data, where data will flow across all the channel, and then artificial intelligence and big data will play a major role. Geographical and economic and organizational complexity, where frequent geopolitical disputes, whether it is COVID kind of situation or whether it is protectionism of any country's work in their border, will play a major role. And that will create economy uncertainty, and black swan kind of events like COVID-19 event will strain cross-border skills flow and short-term resource planning. That will create a new talent pools. So when we are talking about new talent pools, we will require more and more future-ready workforce. And I know many colleges and students are part of this particular webinar. NASSCOM, along with Boston Consulting Group, they also did a survey and came out with a future skill program, which you all would be aware, where they have finalized or they have charterized a few skills for each and every technology. So what they said, that cloud, artificial intelligence, automation, robot process automation, big data will play a major role in coming days. And those days are not so far. Those are all very near, and cloud and collaboration, which we are all connected right now through a Zoom channel, that will play a major role down the line. your all assignments, your study, your colleges will be now on digital. So everything has to be collaborated so that you can have more and more content in front of you. And that content will also have artificial intelligence in place. So all those things will require more and more IT infrastructure, and all those IT infrastructure has to be compliant and collaborated with latest and required and available bandwidth which we have in India. So our IT should be so much optimized so that we have less operational expenses, less capital expenses, and how we can collaborate all those resources staying across many number of offices and places so that we can deliver properly to our customers. There is no survey available currently. Only CIO India did some kind of survey in April recently, that how CIOs are thinking about tech investment after COVID. So we call it after COVID, before COVID situation, ACBC. So after COVID, CIOs, they are thinking to invest more and more into collaboration side, where 52% of CIOs that thinks that they will invest into collaboration, mobility, and cyber security. Cyber security is the major pie where CIOs are seriously thinking to invest more and more against our conventional IT infrastructure. Yes, AI and business information are also playing a major role. So, but CIO main, if I can, in nutshell, I can say, and my colleague will also cover that part, that security is the topmost criteria, because everything is now going on digital. Collaboration is another tool where BFSI, government, and educational institutions, they are thinking very seriously to go and to use various collaborative tools. Mobility and cloud, they are obviously part of this entire journey because people are spread across. So all these things need of tomorrow is an agile, flexible, and scalable technology, which is the foundation of any business to drive a future. What I'll request my colleague Paritosh and Prerak to talk about how high availability of IT infrastructure is there, how we can collaborate with various tools and have a mobility in place, and how cyber security and cyber resilience will play a major role in this journey, and along with various case studies of present world. So would request Paritosh and Prerak to take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamin, for a wonderful speech, and it was really interesting. Thank you, TI members, for joining us today this afternoon. On the lighter note, I keep on receiving WhatsApp, and I would like to share one of the WhatsApp message which I received is during this lockdown time, look inside and not outside. And surprisingly for IT, it is a different story, because till now IT as a department, as an enabler, was always looking from the inside. And now, since we see the work from home adoption has reached to the peak during this lockdown stage, IT has to take an outside view on how people are connecting from outside, how the workforce is accessing the IT infrastructure. So this is the right time for us to re-evaluate our strategy in terms of, as Jaimin mentioned, security, because most of the users who are connecting from outside are using their own devices or are using unsecured lines or are using the mode of connection which is unknown to the organization. So I would like to start with presenting few slides which are going to be an enabler in terms of how we should focus in terms of investing our efforts, our energy and our money in making sure that IT is safe, secure and available to all the stakeholders at the right time across the world, across the devices. So give me a moment, I'll just share a presentation screen. Yeah. So as Jaimin mentioned, the theme of today's presentation is optimizing the IT infrastructure and the way forward with it. So today with me and Prerak Shah, joint CEO of Dev IT, are going to present our ideas, our views on how we can, or how IT can help and how optimizing IT can help businesses to stay continued. So the three agendas which we are focusing today are high availability, collaboration, and cyber security and cyber resilience. These are the three pillars of any of the future IT investments which we are going to make. So I'll give you a classic example of the work from home adoption. So till now, the IT was planned, designed in a way that people within the office premises were able to use the IT infrastructure. But with the new work culture which has arisen within a short span of time, like 3 to 5 weeks, which is work from home, a lot of IT systems have faced challenges in terms of capacity throttling, utilization of firewalls, spike in the traffic, and inability of the IT monitoring system to distinguish between the legitimate traffic, the illegitimate traffic, or are unable to control the traffic which is coming to the IT system. So during this time, it is important that entire IT ecosystem is to be up and running so that business can serve the customers at the pace of requirement. The second thing which covers broadly is collaboration tools. Like today we are using Zoom, Microsoft Teams, we are using our ERP system on mobile, we are using our productivity systems on mobile. So we have stacks of system which we are accessing right now, and having everything available on mobile in different forms is going to be reducing the efficiency and effectiveness of the workforce who is working from home. So the second point which is important is collaboration of tools. Why not bring all the tools under one umbrella and have a better user experience or the employee experience? And with number one and number two, what we get is an additional responsibility on the heads of IT is how do we secure those transactions? How do we secure the channels between the edge and the server? And how do we make sure that our employees who are using the applications are well aware about the risk of or the potential risk of cyber security breach, which can happen from their mobile devices and lead the path to the entire ecosystem of the organization. So this is what I'm briefly going to cover. This is the slide which Jaimin has already mentioned about the focus of the CIOs in the coming year, and if we can see, security is on the top of it. So to start with, we will focus on two areas, which is availability of the IT system as a whole holistic view. If we see, IT system contains of the two core areas. One is the platform, or what we call it as in hardware, and the other one what we call it as in software. In the new era, it is called as an app. So both the areas are very important for the employees when they are working from home, or when we are accessing the application. Now each of the areas are woven in a manner that they are interconnected. So network, storage, and the servers. For now, if we see since we are targeting SMEs and startup, I would be assuming that we would be running on a singular network or singular storage theory, wherein we have a single network switch, we have a firewall, and we have a single server. Now, what happens when we are working remotely and we have a situation like COVID where no one is there available to give hands and eyes assistance to any of these physical units, what we call network, storage, and server. So at that time, it becomes important for us to have a situation where there is a high availability of either a data storage or a network or a server. So if one goes down, the other one is ready to take it up, or we are ready to have a scenario where we are building an high availability network, which is like load balanced based on the traffic route. The second area of focus is software availability. Now, ideally, when we are talking of the legacy software, most of these softwares are designed in a way to handle only single instance based support. For example, if the server goes down, the software is down. So this is a chance for us to look into the design of the software, the design of the cluster, or design of our storage, on how it is being integrated with the software. So at times we do have a software which is supporting high availability, but our storage does not support high availability. So as I mentioned, that hardware and software has to be looked from a single view perspective rather than being looked as a different, that the software design is being done without consulting in hardware team, or vice versa. Hardware team purchases a firewall, but the software does not support multiple routing. So amongst all this, when we talk of a new normal, it is essential that hardware and software availability should be considered, should be reviewed again, to ensure that these situations can be handled and the workforce can effectively give the desired result. With all this, what challenge comes is, as we mentioned, that we need a singular view on our investments. Either it could be in site, hardware, or the software. I will give you an example of a small application need which I was looking into it a few days back, where an employee who is working from home has a different system for signing up and marking the attendance, different system for reporting his work, a different system for performing or entering the leads into the system. So what happens eventually when an employees are working on multiple tools, multiple applications, it is quite often that the synchronization between this application, the data transportation between this application may not be seamless. And especially when we are targeting work from home audience, especially when we are targeting of employees who are mobile or working remotely. The second thing which we identified is a single point of failures which are in terms of hardware. So the long stack of hardware we have, starting from a firewall to the switches to the messaging hygiene, spam, anti-spamware or anti-spam, anti-malware. the entire chain, whenever there is an outage, we have to go through, pass on through each and every stage. And at times our hardware, we have made an investment into the hardware, but we are not able to capitalize it to the full need. Most of the hardware in the legacy environment, if we have observed, they are only utilized 20 to 25% to the capacity. So which also gives us an opportunity as an IT system to make sure that we introduce a virtualization concept into this, so that our hardware utilization can be better and our return of investment can be higher. And the third thing is reducing the number of data centers, because since we are targeting SMEs, we have SMEs audience right now. This would be least impacted or least planned thing. But yes, there are organizations who have like Active Directory servers installed on each of the locations. So we need to see, we need to review, are we doing a right investment by having right number of set of infrastructures, or span across the geographies, or we can have a consolidated view, a single site which can serve these needs of multiple geographies.
So, Paritosh, I'll add something here.
Yeah, please.
So, folks, as you all have witnessed, the IT since last few decades has been coming, has becoming the backbone of all operations. It's not just about IT as a business, but any business needs IT. What has happened in those few years where the IT has tremendously picked up the speed and become part of our life? The businesses have started investing into a variety of things, have developed many applications, I have invested in different kind of hardwares, whatever was found right at that point, investments were made. And as a result, we have a plethora of different technology tool set at very big businesses. If we look at our home even, we have different generation phone, different generation TV, and they are not always in talking to each other in a rightful manner. We just made the investment, but we never had time to make sure that we get the best result out of it. The growth was there, businesses were doing well. We were too busy managing the businesses. And as a result, investment made in IT were being made, but not utilized fully. And what we are talking today, right, in time like this, even after all that investment, if our operations, which is criticality, cannot be continued in the rightful manner, that is what everybody is now worried about, and that is what we want to make sure. Then, how to make sure that our investments and our IT infrastructure as a whole is optimized to bring together what we need as a business. Let it be academic, let it be NGOs, let it be legal firms, let it be retail, whatever. So the previous slide is my favorite. Paritosh, if you can go back to, wedges consolidation, right? It's time that, to optimize our IT infra in the most possible and best possible way, we need to look at the investments made. Let it be random, haphazard, based on different consultant or different agencies or different articles giving different advice at that point in time. Look at it constructively, work out a strategy with the future ready, which is being ready to deliver business on a continuous manner, which is on our mind in COVID-19 and time forward. As Jamin said, the next, something like this has happened after a long time, or for the first time for us, but it's not the last time. Now, we have to accept this as a new normal. And if something like this were to happen, how to make sure that we as a business continue delivering with the IT infrastructure investments that we have made, and we make the most optimized manner. So it's time to look at the hardware investments, the real estate and the sites, the locations investment and software. Look at it constructively, think in a wholesome manner, and work out a strategy so that some software that was developed for some short-term use or limited use, like some people will have attendance system, someone would have CRM system homegrown, someone may have purchased old Pentium to any machine which is sitting there, which is taking space, preventing us to grow further. So time to look at it, consolidate, in a rightful manner so that we are future ready. And that is what this slide, slide is. I'm being a process person, more so PMP myself. So definitely, as we move forward, we have to look back where we have come from, connect all the dots, and pick the right one so that we continue our journey in a most optimized and most efficient manner. So something that I wanted to add as a guidance, that strategizing IT to in optimized manner would be need of the day. Paritosh, over to you, please.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So now, since we are discussing about and moving forward with optimizing our investment, the next part which is going to be important is going to be how to secure this infrastructure, because till now our view, as I mentioned earlier, was internal view, that we are going to have an user within our LAN, we are going to have a user within a VPN network. But now, since we are going towards next generation where most of the applications are mobile, the journey of data starts from the mobile itself. So the data is stored on mobile, which is a device which is in the hands of the user. Chances of getting it lost. Now assume if your entire data is on your mobile and the mobile device is lost, what do we do? So that security is now shifting the landscape from the office premises, from the laptops and desktop to the palm of the user. And that demands that whatever devices are connecting our applications are also secure, which is an edge level of security. So there are options. We are protecting the encrypting the data on the mobile. We have a mobile device management. But the problem is how many of such devices are protected? How many of organizations are really thinking from this perspective on that data security and data integrity at the edge level? So this is one aspect. The other aspect is, again, as we mentioned, the journey of data from mobile devices to the server, which also requires a better firewall management system, a view where the IT infrastructure or the control center has a clear insight on what is the traffic passing on and what are the vulnerable packets being passed from the firewall. So if you detect those vulnerabilities, you can straight away take action and get it fixed. But most of the small organizations, or I would say SMEs, do not have focus at this gateway, the data gateway, what we call. We may have a better system at the office gate premise, wherein with no employee can enter into the organization without punching the card, but we don't have, or we have limited insights on what is passing through our firewall, and that is a bigger risk we are going to witness. We are getting continuous guidelines from RBI banking system that there are a lot of cyber attacks during this time. But I'm very much skeptical that with a limited investment into security, we are not able to capture these attacks, and until we are into a situation of ransomware or we are a situation into a data loss. So I think this is the right time. We should all focus on enabling our foresight towards having a better firewall system, and most importantly is a policy-driven and monitoring-driven organization wherein we have a policy strictly enforced and monitoring capability in place, so that if any such vulnerabilities or any such attacks are detected, we can straight away get into action mode. Prerak, would you like to add anything from your side on this slide?
Yes, so when we talk about policies, right, having the best of the infra is one thing, but having it implemented correctly is other thing. And if you ask me, that is more important, because if people are not fully guided on their usage, on their application, how and what part, that is where the policy can play a role. Things like, work from home, you have the infra to work from home, but making sure they know the do's and don'ts and the prerequisites of that is critical. MDM, mobile device management, making people available, the mobile access to your infra is one thing, but ensuring the security aspects is well covered. no data leaks, no data hacks, if the phones are theft and all of those. So definitely I would stress upon the policies part here to ensure that security is well taken care, Paritosh.
Yeah, thanks for your insights. So as we talk about now, the next question is how to secure the connections. So I'm sure there is a lot of infrastructure setup already being done, wherein we have a VPN available to the employees. But with a recent report we have got from a couple of firewall vendors, they have shared the insights that the firewall capacity planning was done with a 10% utilization for VPN, but because of the change in the current shift of resources from offices to work from home, the VPN saturation has come. So our next priority list, once the office operations are resumed, is to rethink on our VPN infrastructure on how we are going to handle this peak in the request, because this is not going to be permanent, but our planning has to be with a view that it should allow maximum traffic through the firewall system. The second component is about the virtualized LAN, or what we call VLAN. So wherever we have multiple entities or multiple zones within the office, for example, if into a software industry, there is a software development unit, there is a unit for infrastructure management, there is an HR services or back office services. We should provide a different network, a logical network, so that one department cannot peep into the other department's network, or the infection of one network or one zone cannot be transferred to the other network. So this is one of the way to start securing the network connections. The second part is about the data security, and which is probably one of the most priority item for the IT department or IT ecosystem, on how do we ensure that the data which is lying within our premises or within our storage are safe and secure. And the first thing it comes is top to bottom view in terms of a strategy, in terms of how we are going to store the data, how we are going to give access to the data, and how we are going to monitor the data violations or data breaches. And this security is going to be one of the most important focus area from perspective of the value of the data and from the perspective of how we can access the data. So there are a couple of guidelines available, but Microsoft has come up with authentication model, which is the multi-factor authentication, and there are a lot of other players, including Google, has come up with multiple multi-factor authentication on how you would like to access your application. And believe me, it is a very easy process. We just need to take a holistic view on how we want our data to be given access. The second aspect is about giving an access to an employee, because we haven't ever reached to the granular access model, but now it is a time when the doors of digital doors are open for employee, and as much as care we are taking about the door level access in our office premises, the same level of granular attention needs for data access and data monitoring. And the third aspect out of it is the data loss prevention. So all these three systems, if you look, MFA, access management or access control, and data level protection, all of this investment, if I say you already have systems in place, only thing is you need a strategy and integrated view on how we can have all these three integrated to make sure that your data is safe and secure and is not vulnerable to outside or unknown users. So, Prerak, anything you would like from process or business angle on the data security aspect?
Oh, you covered it pretty well. Please continue.
So now we are going into what different approaches are available for the continuity, or how we can optimize our ecosystem so that situations for work from home are going to be uh, handled more effectively, more precisely. As in, I was studying a data from IT BPO segment, and with a data with a workforce of around 4.3 million right now, two-thirds of this workforce is working from home. Now, IT and BPO segment are the most IT uh, uh, ready organizations. So their investment is always going to be aligned with the future needs. But today what we are talking about is not IT or IT BPO industry, but we are talking of a lot of other small and micro industries where this kind of plannings are not done, or they do not have an IT expert which is in-house. So the easiest and the safest journey is to try and see how much of their workload which is on premise can be moved to the cloud, so that they can get a ready to use platform, a cloud platform which is compliant, which is secure, and which can provide you an committed high availability. So there are different approaches which we can take to migrate our workload from on-premise to the cloud. And one of the primary benefit which we can get from the next moment is high availability, anywhere access, mobility. The second is about it immediately reduces your capital expenditures and shifts you to the operational expenditures, wherein your cost, your expenses are predictable and giving a maximum return of your investment comparing to the capex model. The third benefit is when you are moving from on-premise to the cloud, the first baby step is you're not going into redevelopment phase. You're just lifting your application from your application server, you're lifting your database from the Office server and simply putting it into the cloud infrastructure. That means the end user experience is not going to change. You just have to change the IP address and you are ready to move. So the majority of challenges where we get from is the adoption of the change to the end user, the training cost to the end user, which is going to be almost zero in this kind of model. So to control this Opex, what we need is a careful planning. So I am sure you have a couple of applications within the premises which are either a CRM application or your production application or your back office processing, for example, HR applications, attendance applications. So you need to do a careful planning on how much of this workload can be shifted to cloud in a way that maximum of the cloud services are used. So I am sure these words may sound jargon to you, but I will like to simplify this. So for example, if you are running an application which is a .NET based application running a small database, now if you are going to shift this application from on-premise to cloud, as in situation it is there, it is quite possible that you are actually going to incur more fees comparing to on-premises. So there is a word in the second bulleted point, which is native services. So native services is nothing but you are not going to move as is of your objects. For example, let us take an SQL server. So instead of SQL server, there are SQL services on cloud. Either we talk of AWS or either we talk of Azure. So when we shift from an instance-based to subscription-based services, we are going to get benefit out of cloud, not when we are simply migrating our server from on-premise to cloud. So a careful planning has to be done when we are shifting from cloud. On the top of it, what we get is autoscaling. So we had a classic example of an university who had signed up with us for a cloud infrastructure driven services. So as we all know that when the exams period are there, or when the result announcement period is there is a spike in the traffic on the server. Now, traditionally, when we talk of on-premise application on-premise server infrastructure, the responses of the server gets slowed down because of too many requests. Comparing to when we go to auto-scaling model on the cloud, it has a capability to expand horizontally or vertically. So scale up or scale across whenever there is a demand increase on the request. And this all is like charged per minute or per unit. So you don't have to really invest for entire year of subscription. What you have to do is only invest for, let us say, 24 hours into it, and after 24 hours you can again go back to your normal infrastructure. So this is the way we can control our operational expenditure, as well as we can reduce the footprint of our infrastructure from on premises to cloud. The second is cloud native solutions. So as I was going through the messages on the Zoom, the conversation, I saw some of someone had posted in my loan services to the startups and freelancers. So here I would like to quote an example of how cloud native solutions can help. So this is a solution where we are not going to build in a traditional model, but we are going to build using cloud services, which could be a storage, computer, network services. And each of these services are completely woven with the cloud infrastructure, and you are going to pay only for the transactions which you are going to make, and not for complete storage or complete rack or complete server infrastructure. So this is a new phenomenon. With this, I will need Prerak to give us more insights on how cloud native solutions can really help entrepreneurs and SMEs to reduce their footprint of expenses on application.
Definitely. Thanks, Paritosh. There are some questions coming on the chat board in that regards as well. People are definitely more curious, to know about cloud, how it can operate and how it can help. And as I've addressed in one of the questions, basically, when we develop something, right, with our native in-house infrastructure, keeping that in mind, we are limiting the potential to the investment that we can make with respect to the infra, which is, what is available today or what is latest today may no longer be latest tomorrow. For example, we buy TV at home. A few years ago, LCD was the best of the breed, then LED was the best of the breed. But we cannot keep changing TV, otherwise it's a reinvestment and the old one becomes garbage and it's a waste of money. So similarly, when we are developing, if we develop with what we have at in our business, capacity of our business spending with respect to the infrastructure or hardware, the scaling, the availability, and leveraging the IT infrastructure components that are continuously evolving, with the time, becomes limited. And that is where having the cloud-based approach helps, because what you are developing is you are developing for what is current and what is future. You can, because the cloud, whoever the service provider may be Azure, Google, or AWS, right? They will be upkeeping of their infrastructure. They will be investing into the servers to ensure that businesses can get the most out of their money. For us as a business, it is about just our fine-tuning the application, but we don't have to worry about the reinvestment into hardware part. And that is where, cloud-native applications make a lot more sense. It enables you to continuously evolve with the time, with what is available out there and what business may need in the future. I hope that helps and that addresses the point that you wanted to highlight, Paritosh.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Prerak. It helps really.
Perfect. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you. So the question which everyone would be in mind that now what is next? This is what the the starting point is, where how do we go digital, how do we ensure continuity, or how do we ensure the business continuity. So number one which I would like to reput is the businesses that would outlast corona crisis will be there one who are able to assess, take actions, and embrace the new normal. So a lot of organizations are facing a challenge in terms of accessing their IT ecosystem because of lack of earlier planning. A lot of organizations are able to access their applications, but they are not able to access it to the full potential. A lot of organizations will have already an investment made. I was looking forward for a few use cases wherein organizations have already invested into Office 365 or M365, what we call. But when we took a deep dive into their configurations, we identified they are just using it only for email purpose, or they are just using it for chat purpose. Now, what question arises that let us look into our investments, either in terms of software or in terms of hardware, and see that what is best we can bring out of it. So as an entrepreneur or as an SME, you should be interested into bringing more value from the existing investment, and how you can ensure that the same investment can be utilized for maximum purpose. So a couple of use cases which we have identified. Number one is inventory work use case, wherein you already have an investment, you already have system in place, but you are not aware about the 100% utilization of those inventory or the software or the hardware. So ideally a journey starts from your assessment, which is information gathering, as we all would be wearing multiple hats of sales operations. As in startup, one man multiple shows. Our journey starts from what is currently the need to make sure that people are able to do their jobs remotely. So initial what Microsoft identifies in its terminology is asset management. So these assets could be hardware and software. It should be mapped with people. It should be mapped with the kind of work they are going to do, and accordingly try to see what all integrations or what all consolidation we can bring. For example, if we are looking at an application of HR management system, how those HR management systems can be integrated with the attendance management system, or how the attendance management system can be linked with your productivity system. So this integration of applications, or I would say workflow integration or process automation between the systems, needs to be looked from this perspective, so that your single application can trigger an event or trigger an action for the next system. So these use cases are going to be a standard or normal, next normal use cases in the coming days, on how a single platform or single tool can facilitate you with multiple purposes. For example, I was looking at an airline case yesterday. So airline case has integrated their system for a flight management. So if there is a flight tonight flying from one destination to another destination, there is an automatic Teams group created on the Microsoft Teams with a list of passengers, with a list of traveling passengers, and with list of entire itinerary. So this is a small example on how two systems are integrated and working cohesively. once the flight is taken off, this Teams group is automatically archived for compliance perspective, and then it is deleted from the Teams list. So it is a small piece of how process automation can help by consolidating two application workflows. I am sure there will be a lot of use cases. Probably we can handle this in Q&A. I will move to the next use case, which is a security need. Again, from work from home perspective, a lot of users would have started operations from home, but I am not sure how many of these employees have an hardware which is fully secured, fully compliant, and fully patched. So our next challenge in terms of assessing the existing security for assets within the home, within the office, or within the custody of the mobile employees, and what all policies, what all compliances we can enforce strictly, or how many of those employees needs to upgrade their hardware or software to comply to the standards of the organization. The third thing which will, from the security perspective, is to configure our applications so that mobile users can have a restricted access to what they need, rather than having a multiple application which are not required, or multiple access to the data which are not required from home. A small example of that is, if you are able to see a folder which is of other project or other department, in office, whatever you copy and paste remains within the office infrastructure. But if we take an example of an employee who is working at home and using his devices for personal as well as official purpose, and if his device is used by his family members or maybe other family members or his kid, what happens to that data? Are there any chances of this data being unintentionally washed by some worm or Trojan, or is it mixed? So a lot of these questions will arise, and IT department will have to take a very, very sincere look into all these aspects to make sure that the data is, if it is stored on the local computer, the moment they sign out from the VPN, this is being encrypted, this is being locked. So I am sure this will help a lot of people in terms of planning their security for personal devices and for corporate devices. The next point is about policies and training, which again Prerak is going to help us because of his PMI experience and his own foray into these areas. So over to you, Prerak.
Prerak and Paritosh, I think we have to finish it
Running
fast.
right out
We are running out
to
of time.
Yes, we'll keep it quick. So thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Paritosh. In this regards, so when we take off approach, go digital, which is need of a day for business continuity in terms of IT infrastructure availability. As I've said earlier, I'll keep it very short. Doesn't matter what the investment we make, but making sure that people are in line with whatever is available and how to use it. That part, it will not be giving you the best results. One of the questions that I was just answering on the chat board had the same thing, that work from home culture. Wouldn't be people need to be trained? Yes, people will need to be trained on do's and don'ts, and that is where you have to have right policies in place. Let it be work from home, device management, or bring your own device concept, access, security, privileges, vulnerability that work from home can have, so that people don't take do the actions that will risk entire organization's network or infrastructure. So those policies would be critical to in place as we go digital, and having the right training. As a IT staff, IT support people, it is our job to ensure that general laymen, general workforce may not be IT savvy. They are IT consumer. They are IT user. So as an organization, we will have to be very careful and making sure that we craft the policies and train them so that they understand why and why not, do's and don'ts, and then they can follow it. And there should be rigorous and regular training plan, because the things are changing rapidly. What is current today may not be current tomorrow. Something new would be out there. Knowledge sharing and training should be continuous process that the organization should adopt to make the most out of IT infrastructure operations that they have made. Next slide, please.
Yeah, it's there.
Yes, it's there. And in the same line, as you are making investment into all these tools, or you are accessing these tools, some free, some at cost, some subscription based, some purchased, having tool, again, I'll go with the same thing, making sure your team is up to the speed with using the tool. We are talking about optimizing the IT infrastructure. So it is not just about investing, but it's about getting the most out of it. And when as you make the make sure that we make the conscious choices, that the tool we over is our network, our infra is capable to support that, let it be in terms of bandwidth or network capacity. Because so there is a very careful analysis that need to happen of the consumption by relevant service that we are about to subscribe versus our capabilities in terms of, or our infrastructure's potential capabilities in terms of delivering it, right? CIOs will need to process quickly, assess the company's needs and acquire access. We'll be really agile, we'll have to be really fast as we make this our journey, that so that we are not caught like we are caught now. Unfortunately, so the fact is the IT is a backbone, will be a backbone. Everybody knew that. But that was always looked at the cost center aspects. Nobody thought that we will have such a high dependency. And in time like this, IT can be the only savior. Unfortunately, some lessons are learned hard way. This is one of those. So now it is time for us to step up and stay ahead of the curve. Make the informed decisions, have the right partners who can guide you on that. That is one of the questions I was about to address on the chat forum. And, make sure that we as an organization are ready to adapt and get the most out of the IT infrastructure in the best possible way. All right. That covers my 2 cents in that regards.
Yeah.
I think we are coming to Q&A, right, Paritosh?
Yeah.
What is next?
Yep.
Yeah, so this slide, this simple message, the next 5 years, we will see a lot more than what has happened in last 50 years. Sometimes necessity is the mother of invention, right? And challenge teaches us the most and prepare us for the worst, right? And so we expect that, things will be evolving much faster, and we should be ready to adopt it at the same speed. Q&A, please.
Thank you, Prerak and Paritosh. It was really very insightful. Now we are open for question answer. Piali, do we take it in this forum, or
yes,
we can?
So we had a few questions, during the presentation going on, and I think Prerak has responded to most of them. Maybe I can check with reference to the question from Shalin. Prerak, if you would like to add anything more on what he has asked.
I just addressed one of his questions.
Yeah, I think Prerak has just.
But then when I was talking, there were a few more that have flowed in. So, Shalin, I am aware of the. Okay, so Shalin is asking that they have already made the investment, they have their own server, and there are some tools which are deployed on that, and how to make them available to the staff. So without going on a cloud, it's not that you have to be on cloud to make your applications available to your staff. That is probably the need and the time, future need. But for now, Shalin, this can be addressed. There are remote access tools available, which can be secure, which can provide secure access to your network. Paritosh had mentioned VPN and other things. So you may need to look into investing a little bit into that regards to provide the remote access to your work staff, to your infrastructure, to your network, and then they can take it from there. Hope that helps. As Sudhakaran has mentioned in that regards, take the server to the provider or a telco and let them maintain for you, and then they can take it. They can enable the access for you as well.
We have one question from Kanchan, Prerak, if you would like to take. How do Microsoft 365 versus Freshworks versus Zoho compare against each other?
I'm not expert in that regards. I'm not a tool guy. I'm a process and people guy. I'll be very honest. I typically rely on Vishal for that. But Paritosh or Jaimin?
I will take it forward. So Microsoft 365, Freshworks and Zoho. I think the comparison is between Freshworks and Zoho, not with Microsoft 365 in terms of competition, because Microsoft 365 is a very vast bouquet of services which are being offered. Comparatively, Zoho and Freshworks are meant for a very specific purpose. So even to a level where if we think that if we go back to Microsoft and ask this comparison, they will not straightforward get into it because of various reasons. But if I say about Microsoft 365, it is more or less like an platform which is for a lot of purposes. Like one of them is messaging solution using Exchange. The second one is about Microsoft Teams, which is a framework which allows you to have a single framework for a lot of applications which can be integrated or plugged in with it. So it is a long conversation, but I can just put it in a simple way that Microsoft 365 has a lot of offering, and that is why comparing these three solutions is not going to get into a logical business conclusion. Yes, Freshworks and Zoho comparison is better, and probably you can have a one-to-one discussion if this forum allows, and we can deliberate on it to based on your business needs.